We saw, they're gonna play zone. They're gonna have to knock down shots. But I think them seeing what happened to us, they might trap a little more. They might do something different in their press. They might, do almost the same thing Arizona did to us. They might trap. So they're long. They're gonna post our guards up. We just got to be ready to play and be more physical.
Yeah, to that end, I mean, you mentioned that they might look and see, and see that y'all kind of struggled with Arizona's press. Do you feel like y'all are still perfectly capable of breaking a press and not having that number of turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, I never lost faith. It's a game. I don't think that game determined our season. I don't think that game determined us. We got an opportunity to come back and play in Dallas again. So I know we just take it, on our shoulders and we move on. I think you dwell on it that night. It hurts, but it's about what do you do to get better. How do we respond? Arizona responded in a different way. They got beat by Kansas pretty bad. So them playing another Big 12 team, they were like, hey, it's about responding, and we got to take that same approach is how we're going to respond.
I know we're one game at a time, but looking ahead to TCU, Sarah, just as a leader, how can you prepare somebody like Bugs, like Bella, some of the transfers of what the Big 12 was about?
Our league's gotten way better. I think people have seen that in the past, and I think it's a chance for us to, prepare for tournament time. And our young guys have showed, that they can play. They can play with anybody. I think it's about having that confidence that they've had when we were up by 20, even when we were down by 20. You take it as a learning experience. Going into conference, it's like a restart. Everybody's 0-0 in conference, and I think, it's a fun time to play because you prepare for the tournament. Yeah, I'm just thinking about how can I get better, but how can I be a better teammate that makes everybody else around me better? In the Arizona game, I think I got to be better. I put that game on myself. I turned the ball over. I got to put us in the best situation that, we can be successful in. I think I got to be better as a leader, and I took that loss tough. Is how can I get better and make my team better?
Bugs, how have you seen Sarah kind of fill that leadership role as somebody that's new to the program, coming in on the last non-conference game and just like kind of put a bow on it for Chris?
I think Sarah's doing really good. I know when I first came in, I was nervous, but I know she's kind of broke me out of my shell a little bit. She encouraged me to ask questions. I know sometimes when I look puzzled, she's like, what's the question? Find me a question. I need to, ask me a question. I just think just her having that confidence in us, I think that's the biggest thing, too, because I know coming in, being new as a freshman, it's a lot thrown at us. And we've been playing a lot of minutes, too. So a lot of people have, a lot of high expectations for us. But I think she's been doing good. She's been taking the leadership role great. She's been very encouraging, and she leads on the court. I feel like, hey, okay, Sarah's got me. She knows what I need to do. And sometimes if I'm puzzled or something, she already knows. So she's coming to me. She's encouraging me. She's letting me know maybe how something is supposed to be played or whatever the case may be. But she's doing that real good.
Thanks, love.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
I think film yesterday was showing effort issues. When you talk about the keys to the game being getting two people back on every shot, and the first shot we took of the game, we didn't get back. It didn't cost us, but we weren't dialed in. I think it's a game that we weren't as dialed in as we needed to be. We missed some shots. I think you look at that stretch where Sarah slips on the stickered end the first quarter, and that turns into 2 points at the other end, and it's a 2-point game at that point. Or you even talk about going into halftime, and you've gotten a couple stops, and it's 10, and you have a chance to take the last shot, and you push it, and Bugs misses a layup, and they come down and score at the buzzer. So, you have a chance to cut it to 8 or 7, potentially take that into the half. Instead, it's 12. So, they just kind of stole the momentum from us. I think at the end of quarters, we fell a little bit apart in that second quarter. Obviously, that's really where we lost the game. Some turnovers for different reasons. Ironically, the trap didn't bother us that much in the first quarter, and then suddenly it bothered us in the second quarter. So, we talked about the mistakes that we made. And, I think some of that is biggest stage we've been on, biggest stage for some of those players getting those type of minutes. and an opponent who'd been embarrassed by a Big 12 opponent at home. And I just think that that was a big wake-up call for Arizona, and I thought they were, I mean, we play a lot of upper-class kids, so it's not like we're a young team. I don't look at us and say we're a young team. But they did put 5 seniors, 3 of them super seniors out there. Their first guard off the bench is a senior, and then Connor was the only one that played in those early minutes before cleanup time. That wasn't an upperclassman, and I thought they just were tougher than us, I mean, so a lot of room for growth, but certainly we're not packing it in.
What do you most want to see tomorrow?
I just want to see us compete. I think that when things didn't go well, we broke down probably mentally and a little bit physically. Like we've got to have good leadership out there in terms of when things aren't going well. I talked to him about, like, we took some bad shots. We made some selfish plays. We don't have selfish players. You don't end up in the top 10 in the country in assists or have 7 players out average double figures and be a selfish team. I thought our selfishness came from players wanting to step up and be the difference maker and help the team get going. That we'd take Sarah take a shot or Kate take a shot, or, shots were taken not in a rhythm. Shots were taken early in the shot clock where we didn't make them work. Shots that could have been taken at any point, during a 30-second possession. And so I just want to see us get back to making the right plays, making the right reads, making the extra pass, re-attacking. I want to see us be in the right position defensively. Like, I felt like we got if you're going to be a good defensive team, short and long term, you got to play good team defense. It's not about one player. It's not about 2. It's about good team defense. And so, we really dialed in on, like, as silly as it sounds, like simple concepts, that so often we get bogged down by the play that they're running, the specific play they're running, and don't play position defense, and I think that's some of that's youth and, hey, we worked on this plan, I want to get this play right, as opposed to understanding when the ball moves away from you, you need to move with the ball. When you're 1 pass away, when you're 2 passes away. And if you'll just do the simple things, it doesn't matter what they run. It doesn't matter if they're posting a guard or stagger screening or flare screening. If you're where you're supposed to be, you give yourself a chance to get to where you need to go, regardless of the action. And so for us, I think tomorrow, we're banged up too. And so because of that, whoever is a go at game time tomorrow, that we're really flowing with the ball defensively, that we take care of it offensively. Of course, we're going to play another team that's going to press and trap and make us move the ball and wants to create turnovers and pretty much scores off of turnovers. So that's the unique challenge kind of 4 games in a row against teams that really rely on their defense to create offense.
Mentioned, being banged up. Asia didn't play the second half. What's kind of her
Her knee is fine. She had a muscle situation and is day-to-day. So don't anticipate her tomorrow, but she's day-to-day.
Had you seen because I was trying to remember Maryland maybe, but had you seen a team that physical as Arizona played?
Michigan was pretty physical. I would say those are the 2 most physical teams we've played. I mean, when you look back at that film, the refs were not assigned by the Big 12, or I'd be going to my go-to. And this isn't a judgment on the officiating, but we got thrown around a little bit. Plays that honestly were fouls. I mean, you want to say we got to be tougher, and but we got 2 hands shoved in the back and shoved off screens at times. Now we got to be tougher and stronger and not let it happen. But I would say those are the 2 games where we've played against teams that just were physically imposing, especially inside.
Coach Nick, you talked about Arizona responding to how do you quantify what you want to see from a response, whether it's from the veterans or even some of the younger players?
Mental toughness, that we start the game the right way, that we understand that Long Beach is a team that we're going to have to beat. They're going to come in here to compete, and they played that Arizona team really close to the fourth quarter. I know the score was 20 points, but if you watch the game, Arizona didn't get away from them until the fourth quarter, so it was closer than the score, at least for 30 minutes. So, I want to see them respect the game, respect each other, work together. I don't know that there's a number, but the number I want to see is less than 12 turnovers. That's for sure. I want to see us take care of the basketball. That's just a big. I'm not saying it's not a big thing for some coaches, but a lot of coaches win and turn the ball over a lot. I don't. That's lost possessions to me. We have to get shots on goal.
Who else might be limited or sidelined tomorrow?
Jaden's day-to-day and Kate's day-to-day.